In a world that just never stops talking, what if the most powerful thing you could do is say nothing at all? Today, we're diving into the art of being quiet, and trust me, it might just be the ultimate form of control in our super noisy lives.
It feels like we're wired to react, right? Someone makes a comment, an argument starts, and we feel this pull to jump in, to defend ourselves, to explain. But what if that's not the strongest move? What if real power actually lies in the pause?
So, have you ever felt totally, completely drained after a social event, even if you were just sitting down the whole time? Yeah, that's not just you. There's a name for it: social battery drain. It's that very real mental exhaustion that comes from just being on around other people.
And let's be clear, this is not about being physically tired. You can be socially exhausted after spending hours on the couch. It's a totally different kind of fatigue, a psychological one, that can only be recharged by one thing: some good old-fashioned quiet time.
Okay, so how can you tell when your social battery is blinking red? Well, you might get super irritable for no reason. Maybe you get a tension headache, or you start giving one-word answers just to make the conversation end. Recognizing these signs, that's the first step to getting your energy back.
But here's an idea. What if we've been looking at this whole thing backwards? What if silence isn't a sign of weakness at all, but a conscious, really powerful choice? Let's totally reframe what it means to be quiet.
We tend to think of being quiet as being passive, right? But this completely flips the script. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's you intentionally deciding to hold on to your energy and only use it when it actually counts.
And this is where it gets really interesting. When you choose to stay silent, you literally change the entire dynamic of an interaction. You break the pattern. And suddenly, people who count on you to react immediately are left alone with their own words. And in that space, that's where the truth usually comes out.
This all boils down to one crucial difference: reacting versus responding. A reaction, that's your gut. It's impulsive, it's emotional. But a response is chosen, it's intentional. And the bridge that gets you from one to the other, you guessed it, a moment of silence. So how do we actually do this? How do we create that space to respond with intention? Well, it all starts with one incredibly simple but powerful tool: the 3-second pause. This, right here, is where everything can change.
3 seconds. I know, doesn't sound like much. But in the heat of a conversation, it can feel like forever. But it's just enough time to hit the brakes in your autopilot and let your rational mind actually take the wheel.
And hey, this isn't just some nice idea, it's backed by science. Research on what's called wait time shows that a brief pause of just 3 to 5 seconds can dramatically improve the quality of your thinking and even boost your confidence.
Okay, so let's walk through this. Step 1. Something happens. That's the trigger. Your impulse is to just react. But instead, you pause. 3 seconds. You take a breath. And in that little gap, you ask yourself one question: is this necessary? Then, and only then, you respond with intention.
All right, now that we've got the internal part down, let's look at how this whole practice can transform our external world. Everything from our daily chats to the way we lead. We're so conditioned to think the leader is the loudest person in the room. But think about it. Quiet leaders have this unique kind of power. They don't speak often, but when they do, everyone listens. They command attention with their presence, not their volume.
And the impact of that approach? It's huge. When a leader actually listens more than they talk, it builds trust. It creates a space where people feel safe to share ideas, and that leads to way better decisions and a team that's actually engaged.
Now here's something that I think is so important. You do not owe everyone an explanation. That need we feel to constantly justify ourselves, a lot of the time, that's just us looking for someone else's approval. Real confidence is being okay with your decisions, even if no one else gets it. This is the secret genius of being quiet. It's not about what you're losing by not talking, it's about what you're gaining. You start to see things, the body language, the unspoken tensions, all the rich information that gets totally lost in the noise. Your awareness becomes a superpower. So what's the big payoff for all this quiet and intentionality? It's actually pretty simple. Your words start to have incredible power. When you speak less, every single word you say counts for more. Think of it like a simple equation. The less you speak without a real purpose, the more weight your words carry. You're making a fundamental shift from quantity to quality, from just making noise to actually making an impact. So are you ready to try this out? Here are 4 super simple ways you can start today. First, master that 3-second pause. Second, just for today, try to skip one unnecessary response. Third, when someone's talking, listen to understand, not just to figure out what you're going to say next. And finally, find just 10 minutes for total, complete silence.
Ultimately, this is about a massive mindset shift. It's about realizing you don't have to fight every battle or win every argument. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to not react, not explain, not even speak. It's just being.
So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. The less you speak without purpose, the more powerful your words become.